Hi, and welcome to Outsmart Your Guitar. I'm glad you could drop by to see what we're doing today. Today, we're on scale sequences. I'm going to talk about them, break them down, and show you what they are and how to play them. All right, so let's just get right to it. But wait, press that red button down there in the corner and you'll be subscribed to Outsmart Your Guitar. Ring the notification bell and you'll be told when new lessons are posted, which is around once a week or so. For an enhanced version of this lesson, go on over to patreon.com, Outsmart Your Guitar. The link is down below in the description part. And subscribe there at one of two levels. In becoming a patron, you'll help support my efforts to continue bringing you high quality lesson material to help you learn, play, and grow to be the guitar player you want to be, to play the music you love. Sound good? All right, let's get to it. All right, so what are scale sequences? Well, you may know it by another name. That's how I learned it. It's called cascading licks. But we'll stick with scale sequences. Scale sequences basically are where you start on a given note, say A, and you go through 2, 3, or 4 note sequences. So you start with A, go to B, C, D, you can even go to E and F, say 6 notes. Then you come back and start the sequence again, but on, say, C, and go C, D, E, F, G, A. And then you come back and start on, say, E, and go E, F, G, A, B, C. And then you just keep going. And that's basically a scale sequence. Now, there's different ways you can do this. And so we're going to cover some of that and help you understand how it works and give you some exercises to do to help you put them under your fingers and get more comfortable. All right? So, with that in mind, let's look at the first lick. We're going to start really easy, and we're going to use the D major scale, and we're going to play through that in 4 note sequences. All right, so you know the major scale. Right? So now we're going to sequence it. You start on the root and play 4 notes from the D. D, E, F sharp, G. That's the sequence, 4 notes. Now we start on the E, the second note of the scale, for the second sequence. E, F sharp, G, A, going up 4 notes. Go to the third note of the scale, the F sharp, and play a 4 note sequence starting there. F sharp, G, A, B. Fourth note of the scale, G, play 4 note sequence starting there. G, A, B, C sharp. Fifth note of the scale, A, play a 4 note sequence starting there. A, B, C sharp, D. There's your first octave. You can keep going from there. And that completes a 2-octave sequence of 4 notes. Pause the video and walk through this mechanically. Work it out with your fingers. Don't try to just rush through it. Work it out slowly. Get your fingers used to what they're supposed to be doing. And then once you have it down and can play it fairly smoothly, bring in the metronome and play it either 4 notes per beat, which would mean your metronome would be kind of slow, or you can do 2 notes per beat. It's up to you how you want to approach this. Again, speed isn't the object here. Quality of execution is the object. to do it well and smooth and flowing. All right? Take a few minutes to do this. Then, when you're ready to continue, press play. Let's now play a descending sequence. We're still in D. We're just going to start at the top root. And we're going to play a 4-note sequence descending. All right? So you start with D, C sharp, B, A. Now we go to the second note of the descending scale, and that would be C sharp, and play 4 notes descending from there. C sharp, B, A, G. Go to the third note of the descending scale, that's B, and play 4 notes descending from there. B, A, G, F sharp. The fourth note of the descending scale, A, 4 notes descending from there. A, G, F sharp, E. Then the fifth note of the scale descending is G, 4 notes down from there. G, F sharp, E, D. And you just played that octave. You can keep going from there. To finish the full 2 octaves. So pause the video and take your time. Work out the mechanics, simply getting everything working the way it's supposed to work. Then smooth it out and put it to a metronome at 2 or 4 beats, clicks, 2 or 4 notes per click. Yeah. And it's up to you. Again, quality of execution, not speed, is what matters here. If you can't play the lick right at a slow speed, you're not going to be able to play it right at a higher speed. All right? So just play it at a comfortable tempo and really get it right. Spend a few minutes here. And then when you're ready to continue, press play. And we'll do just that. All right, here's what you do now. Get your looper and record a simple D major chord vamp. Nothing fancy, just a simple rhythm, and you're going to play over both ascending and descending the sequences you just learned. Let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, let's take that 4-note sequence and put it into a different context. We're going to stay in the key of D, but now we're going to switch to a minor key, D minor, and we're going to use the Dorian mode. The Dorian mode is basically the pentatonic minor scale with 2 added notes, a 2 and a 6. So here's what that sounds like. It's an interesting scale, a lot of fun. So this sequence is going to take you from the 4th position of the scale through the 5th position up to the first position of the scale. So we're going to work through 3 positions of the Dorian mode in playing this sequence. We have some shift points, some transition points. So pay attention as you go through this. So we're in the 4th position at the 5th fret of the 5th string, and we're going to play the first 4 notes of the Dorian mode, which are E, D, E, F, G. Then you start the sequence on the 2nd note of the scale, E. E, F, G, A. 3rd note of the scale, F. 4 notes up. F, G. Now we're kind of straddling 2 positions here, so on the A, use your 2nd finger, and on the B, use your 4th finger. I know it sounds weird. That's okay. You'll get used to it. Now we come back to the G, that's the 4th note of the scale, and play 4-note sequence. G, we're going to now transition to the 5th position, move up 2 frets to A, B, C. Now we play the next note of the scale, A, and play up 4 notes from there. A, B, C, D, and that's our first octave. Right? Now we come back to B and play 4 notes up from there. B, C, D, and we're going to transition up 2 frets to E and the first position of the Dorian mode. Come down to C and play 4 notes up from there. C, D, E, F. Play from D now. D, E, F, G. Now from the E, a slight shift up 1 fret. F, G, A. Come back to the F. F, G, A, B. Come to the G, A, B, C. Back to the A, B, C, D. Add a little bend to finish it off. All right, I know this is a lot to take in, so pause the video, work out the mechanics. Don't worry about tempo, just work out the mechanics, what your fingers are supposed to do. Pay attention to the transition points as well, and then smooth it out. And when you have it smoothed out, then bring in the metronome and play even just 2 notes per click. Smooth it out. Get it flowing. All right? Then, after you've done this for around probably, 10 minutes or so, go ahead and restart the video, and we'll keep going. All right, now get your looper out again. This time, record a D minor vamp. Just the chord, playing a simple rhythm at a tempo where you can manage and play. And I'm going to show you exactly what I want you to do. Let's do the descending 4-note sequence. We're going to start up here on F at the 13th fret of the 1st string, and we're going to end on D at the 5th fret of the 5th string. So we're doing just over 2 octaves. Now what I'm going to do is just call out the first note of each 4-note sequence. All right, here we go. Pay attention. Starting with F, E, D, C, B, A. Shift back 1 fret, still in the first position. Now your next starting note is G, F, E, D. Transition back 2 frets. Now you're in the 5th position. Next starting note is C. Then B. Transition back 2 frets. Now you're in 4th position. Your next starting note is A, G, ending on D. So, pause the video. Work out the mechanics. What are your fingers being asked to do? Then, as you get more comfortable with it, start smoothing it out. Then, once you got it fairly smoothed out, bring in the metronome, playing 2 or 4 notes per beat based on your facility. Remember, this is not about speed, it's about quality of execution, how well you're able to play the part. Even when played at a slower tempo, like I just demonstrated, it still sounds great, okay? So, take your time here, spend 5-10 minutes, get it down. Then, when you're ready to move forward, press play. All right. Now that you've learned the descending sequence, get your looper out with that D minor chord vamp and play over that for a few minutes. I'm going to demonstrate right now what that should sound like. Okay, get out your paper with the ascending and the descending 4-note sequences we just went over. And now what I want you to do is play them back to back. And I'll demonstrate what that looks like right now. now that you've got the ascending and descending 4-note sequences in the Dorian mode fairly well under your fingers and you're able to play them, I want to now put them in a context. But first, you have to learn the progression that you're going to record into your looper. All right? So let's work on that. All right, the progression is pretty straightforward. You got a D minor, you got an A minor, another D minor, down to C, and to G. And those are your chords. Now I recommend all bars because you have more control over their sound than if you're doing first position chords. All right, now I'm using this part of my palm to mute the lower 3 strings. And what I'm going to do is something a little bit more sophisticated here. I'm going to strum and let the high strings ring while the low strings are muted. And how I'm doing that is basically I'm lifting this part of my hand up, but keeping this part on the low string. So let's see, if you look at the thing, I'm doing that kind of a thing, right? So you can see that this part of my hand is off the strings. And that's how I duplicate the sound of 2 guitars, one doing this and the other one doing this. So it's a cool effect, absolutely. So you don't have to do that. You can sit here and just do this. And that'll work too. All right, so practice this for a little while. And whatever tempo you're able to do that at, that's what you want to record the progression into your looper at. I'm somewhere around 90 some beats a minute for myself. But you, again, don't have to be at that tempo. Just be at the tempo you can play these parts well. All right, and the metronome helped you understand what the tempo was for that. So then play the rhythm at that tempo. So pause the video, work this out, record it into your looper, and then when you're ready to go, press play. All right, got your progression into your looper and got a good loop going? Okay, let me demonstrate exactly what I want you to do and how it's going to sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, how cool is that? So what you got to do is pause the video and practice playing ascending and descending just in the same fashion I demonstrated here so that you're able to play it well. 2 notes or 4 notes per beat. Don't worry about if you're playing it slower. You go at what your facility can handle. You did that when you were learning the licks, found out, well, okay, I can play it at this tempo, whatever that is, 50, 60 beats a minute. That's fine. It's not about speed. Again, it's about quality of execution. Ever and always, you want to perfect your technique and then increase the tempo. Perfect your technique at a slower tempo. Then as you slowly increase the tempo by no more than 2 to 4 beats a minute, you will bring that technique forward with you. And that's the point. And that's what you really want to do when you start speeding anything up, not just these licks, but anything. Only increase by small increments and stay at that tempo until you get it smooth and flowing. Then increase 2 to 4 beats and stay at that tempo until it's smooth and flowing. If 4 beats is too much, back it off to 2 beats and work it out smooth and flowing before increasing it again. All right? So there you go. Once again, for the expanded version of this lesson, go on over to patreon.com and subscribe and become a patron and help support my efforts to continue giving you the high quality lessons you deserve. All right? Until then, until the next lesson, which will be there, as will I, we'll see you there.